Hello and welcome back to another episode of Gabe Plays All the Mods 9 to the Sky. Last episode, we built our starter ME system here, and we set it up so that it could make itself, make storage for itself on automatically. Since then, I've just been doing a bit of tidying up and adding a few little things here for helping quality of life kind of stuff for us. So over here, if you remember from last episode, we set up all the automatic inscribers, the auto ore processing, some recipes for a furnace. I think since last episode, I made all of these things fully set up. So now we sift crushed dirt. We sift dust, we sift sand, we sift gravel, and we're also just collecting dust, collecting sand, collecting gravel, and collecting cobblestone into the system. Additionally, I think this is also turned on. We have deep slate and netherrack going. Something that I added was, because this netherrack produces a lot of blackstone pebbles, I set up this little thing here to turn blackstone into crushed blackstone and sieve that. The blackstone gets made here in one of these auto crafters that we have. I just set up one of the tiers to be making blackstone, so all of our blackstone pebbles get automatically exported from this export bus, and then they come here and get turned into blackstone. Whoa! Hello there. On top of this as well, over here by the reactor, I've decided to go with 8 reactors for space instead of 9. Because that way with 8 we can send one ME dense cable with 32 channels over here, and then one of each of the 4 channels can go for redstone, coal, uraninite, and water or something else. So I think that's the easiest way to do it. And then I also chose to set up in the middle here. It's a little ugly and scrappy right now, but I've got an automatic dry ice maker going. So the water that we pull for this reactor from just down there from the electric pump also gets pumped in over here to this atomizer, to the compactor, and then we have 2 auto crafters which make pack ice and then blue ice, and then those go up to the energizing orb, which will then, the blue ice will go there, and then once you get 2 pieces of blue ice, it'll energize and turn into packed ice, and then the packed ice will just distribute to the reactors. It really consumes it really slow, so I'm not too worried about how inefficient or how slow that is, but if we ever want to speed it up, we could add more atomizers or something. Let me just sleep the night away here. On top of that as well, I've added to the ME system a bunch of just formulas or recipes. So a bunch of stuff for auto crafting molecular assemblers, some stuff for doing the flux sieves and flux hammers. So I was thinking about this off camera, and I was trying to find a way to farm wood, and in regular All the Mods 9 there's the bonsai trees, but they don't have that in All the Mods to the Sky. But then I remembered obviously now in new Minecraft you can use bamboo and turn that into bamboo planks, and so I switched all of our recipes for making chests and crafting tables and pistons and stuff like that to all use bamboo planks instead. So now we use bamboo. Because bamboo is really fast growing, so that kind of leads me to some of the stuff I've done down here. Over here on the left, I've just set up an automatic bamboo farm. So all this is just bamboo, piston, and observer. So when the bamboo grows up there, the piston takes it out, and it just harvests like that. So then, obviously, if I crouch here a bunch, you can see all the bamboo growing, and then these vacuumulators from Thermal Series, which maybe I can try and reach one. Yeah. All these guys do is just pick up stuff in a range around them. And so I found a good spacing to be able to fit these to catch these 2 rows of 16 bamboo. And then over there we have 2 more. And so these just passively grow bamboo for us. It's nothing too quick, but we don't have a huge demand for wood right now. So it works for us at this time. But yeah, as you just harvest this, you just get bamboo in here, and then that all gets sucked over into here, and then it goes up to this spot here where there's just a chest that gets the bamboo, and then we have import bus connected to our ME system up here. So that, and then this is kind of the redstone. It's really, really basic, really vanilla, but it gets the job done. Similarly, very, very basic, but gets the job done. I just set up this cactus farm here. So the cactus will just grow up and hit the bamboo fence, and then that will break the cactus. And then this advanced item collector that's up there collects all the items in a 9x9, and you can like filter it. And that collects the items and puts them in the chest, and then again, ME import bus takes that into our system. So that if I just grow this here, you can see that everything's getting sucked into there. There's a cactus, and then it gets sucked into the system. Over here, I started doing a few things. So one thing really easy, I'm just pumping water straight into our system. So I made a fluid storage cell, which I'll show you, just to store water for our system and any like water recipes we'll need. And then over here is a very like easy way I found of automating making Fluix crystals. So the way you have it set up is you have the ME pattern provider with the Fluix crystal there, and then you have to set up a ME interface beneath there with a cable here to a ME formation plane. And the ME formation plane has to be set to this. Blocks will be dropped as item. And then when it gets this call for like making a few hundred or whatever Fluix crystals that it needs, it'll drop all the nether quartz and charged Certus quartz and redstone dust into this water here. And then this advanced item collector here, which is filtered to only pick up the Fluix crystals, will then pick up all the Fluix crystals that come up here from this crafting, and then it'll pick it up and put it back in the pattern provider. So the pattern provider will just think, I supplied stuff to this, and then all of a sudden I got what I wanted, and then that'll just go back into the system. So that's just an automatic way of making Fluix crystals that I found. Really, really easy. And then over here, this is later on in the mod, we'll be able to use mega cells, which are like super massive, like 1 million like storage cells, and they require sky of steel ingots, which you need charged Certus quartz, iron, and skystone in lava. So we'd basically copy this setup here, but with a different recipe in lava, and then that's how we'd get that. But I'm just kind of space claiming for now, but we're not going to do that for a little while. Yeah, on top of that, like I said, I made the fluid cells over here. So if you look in here, I automate a bunch of 64K storage cells. So first one's already full, and we're filling up, and we've got a bunch more extra here. And then we've got 3 fluid cells. So I've got, each of these is 64K, and one is water, one is witch water, and one is lava. Just like 3 like fluids that we produce like very, very often, and I think will be useful for a bunch of recipes. And the way you do this is you take these fluid cells and you put them in here, in the top right of the cell workbench. And then you can like filter it and like kind of partition it to tell the system you can only put this item in this cell. And so that's how we like split up. I just did like water, witch water, and lava. So we'll have like a buffer of each of these, but I didn't want to have just one, and maybe the water would come in much faster, and then we'd have a lot of water, not a lot of lava or something. So I rather just dedicate the storage for that there. But yeah, the cell workbench is pretty easy to make in terms of applied energistics. You just need one calculation processor, some wool, a chest, and iron. It's really simple, and it doesn't need power or anything to be connected. On top of that, I made a second pattern provider, and so here's where I've started making these. Also I'm using these ME extended pattern providers, which are from Extended AE mod, which basically they just, instead of having like 1 row of patterns like a normal pattern provider, you get 4 rows, which at the beginning right now is like very useful, because then we don't need to make a bunch of pattern providers. But eventually it gets a little inefficient, because then if I want to make this one, but I also want to make this one, but they're both in this pattern provider, I have to wait till one's done. So typically you want to organize these really well so that they can like work in parallel, and if there's anything that needs something else, it'll never get bogged down because this one's busy crafting. But like I said, for now in the beginning, we're really bare bones here. This just helps to get a lot of patterns in without making a lot of channels. But yeah, so I've automated a bunch of these things, like the formation plane, the pattern providers. I'm automating some string, some wool, starting to do some of the Powah stuff, which I want to get into this episode, and just some additional things like the auto crafters and that sort of stuff. Also, something I forgot to mention, with this blackstone now, every time we sift blackstone, we have a chance of getting a netherite, or I guess ancient debris. And so now I've got the ancient debris getting auto-smelted as we get it. And now we just starting to get like a decent amount of netherite scrap in here. And I want to start crafting these upgrades for the sieves so that we can get more materials. Because right now, the biggest one, the dust, is like, it's all right, but something that's holding us back is we're not getting a lot of glowstone dust. And we need that to make the ME smart cables. So what I want to do is make 3 of these. And so set this to craft here. So it'll craft all this stuff here, and it's making the glass over here. And once we have this, then we can speed up that system over here, and it'll be going real quick. And then we'll be getting more glowstone, which will stop holding us back. Something else that's I guess I did that I didn't show while it's crafting there is I set up an auto clay maker. So this like sink makes infinite water from cooking for blockheads, so that's really convenient. Honestly, like, it's kind of, in hindsight, I don't really need the pumps that I use, but I mean, I kind of like the pumps and they're really cheap. It gives it a more like industrial feel. But this puts water into this barrel, and then we have a pattern for clay where it'll just put dust in here, and then it'll turn to clay and it'll pull back into the system. So it's currently using clay to make terracotta to make this upgrade over here. But it looks like it's about to be done any second now. And then we'll get 3 of these upgrades. So these are like pretty endgame upgrades. The only thing I'm worried about is that our cables for power aren't very good. Which is something I want to get into this episode, is automating the power like crystal making thing. So I think I'll like do a bit of setup for that, and then I'll show you guys what I've got cooking. Okay, so I've got basically everything we need here to do this. We've got the energizing orb here, and then right beside it we have a pattern provider, which will be able to make the blazing crystal, the niotic crystal, energized steel, and the spirited crystal. These are all just recipes I made in the pattern maker upstairs. The important thing about this with the energizing orb is that you set it to blocking mode, so it doesn't push crafting ingredients if inventory contains a pattern input. Because basically this can only process 1 recipe at a time. You can't like queue up 64 of an item and it'll slowly work through. You have to put in 1 iron and 1 gold, wait till it's done, then extract it, and then you'll be good. So I think also what we want to do here is on the filter, we want to make sure that we're extracting only what we want. We don't want to just pull out the ingredients as they're being made. I'll put this here, although eventually like we won't get there for a while. Then these wither star, like nether stars. But so now all we need to do here is set up the power to surround this. So I'm gonna go with like a 6 beam grid. So I go 2 away, 2 away, and then I'll do another 6 beam here. Now I don't know if I have all the tools to make all the, what are they even called? Energizing rods to make this many, but I made a bunch. So now it should be able to place these guys like this. How many do I have left? 4. So then I'll just go like this and like this. I'll connect this over here. And then now we just need to hook it up to our actual power system. And bang. So now all these guys should start powering up soon. Hopefully. Yeah, they all have power in them. So now what we can do is I set up a bunch of recipes in the system over here. I'll show you. I made another pattern provider so that we can have all the power cables, stuff that we need. So I set up all the different capacitors, all the crystals, all the energizing rods. So I think down there we have 6 times 3, so we have 18 spots for energizing rods. So I think let's try and just see what happens if we make it, tell it to make 16 of the blazing ones. I think we'll see how long that'll take. So we go here and we go 16. Let's see. Do we have everything? Yep, we have everything it needs. So now I should be able to just hit start here. And it should be going. It's like making some blocks of quartz. And it should be crafting the energizing stuff over here. Let's see. Yep, it's going. Kind of would be nice if we had some accelerators on this guy, but I mean, it's fine. So this guy's going now down here, just exactly how we want it. Let me check how much time is left on this recipe. I might have to just like be back when it's done. It might take too long. Let's take a look here. What does the crafting CPU say? It says 30 seconds. I don't really believe it because it needs to do 38 of these and then 64 of these. So I'll be back when it's done all that, and I'll let you guys know how long it took. Okay, guys, we've got all 16 energizing rods here. It took about like maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. Not very long, but enough to just like cut away and cut back for you guys. So now we can. Oh Jesus! No. Can I break this guy? There we go. I think I might be able to do it with a wrench easier. Yeah, perfect. Break all these guys. Okay. And now we'll put a bunch of these guys in here. Yeah, that's probably going to drain a reactor to fill those up, but it's fine. Oh, did I? Oh, I actually just realized I think I did 16 instead of 18. But I'm pretty sure this will be plenty for us, to be honest. So now what I want to do is probably... I'm going to set up something very similar to this, but instead of having like a pattern provider, I'm just going to set up our system to automatically output the uranium that we get and turn it into uraninite with one of these types of systems. So I'll do that, and I'll probably set it up like right back here or something, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so now we'll just set up here a import bus, which is just filtered to uraninite, and we'll set an export bus of uranium. Let me just set up these guys first to face it. So now when we set this to uranium, it should just fill this up. And because to make uraninite, you can just fill up the whole kind of row with uranium and get 6 of them at once. So I don't really mind if we just set this to just do uranium, and then like that's it. Don't worry about it. So like I don't have to set the recipe thing like we did before. We can just export. So we'll just put uranium ingot here. And it'll fill this guy. And fill this guy. And then it should laser these guys. Maybe? What's going on? What's the big deal here, guys? Okay, for some reason it didn't like that those energizing rods were over here. So I moved them over here, and now they're just making the uraninite like we wanted. So now all the uranium in our system should be turning into uraninite. And now the next step for that is going to be setting up the uraninite to automatically go into our reactor over here. So if we look here, should be our uranium should be going down 536, 530, and our uraninite should be going up 110. So that's pretty awesome. We're good there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh yeah, I definitely need to light up the top of the ME system, because that has happened before off camera and I almost died. So we'll get this in the system, in the reactor, but I mean the reactor's doing really good. We built a really good reactor. Holy crap. This reactor hit this. Whoa! What? Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Nice. Okay, it's not. I can't even sleep. It's daytime now. Okay. So now the next step we want to do is start automatically supplying items into the reactor, which basically we just need a lot of ME cables. But the hiccup right now for me is that I don't have a stable way of getting wool. The way I'm doing it right now is I'm farming this crop over here called flax, which I got through calling down this guy, the Emerald Muncher, I guess it's called. He's basically just I think it's called Market or something like that. But yeah, it's called Market. Perfect. And basically the way this works, it's pretty funny actually. I'll show you guys. I've placed this down here, and you can kind of hear him coming. And bam, there he is. And you can just like pick any one of these seeds and stuff, or saplings from Minecraft and the mods, and just pay 1 emerald or something to get them. So that's how I was able to get the flax seeds over here. And with the flax, if I harvest this, we can turn flax into string, which we can then use to turn string into wool. So that's been working really well for me, but it's kind of like very manual. And so what I want to do is automate this farm on a bit of a larger scale, so that we can have a constant supply of kind of string coming in. So I think for now at the beginning, I'll try and do it in a way that might be a little ugly, but hopefully later on when we get a lot more dirt, I want this island to kind of be like a big factory, and then over here I want this to be more like a green area and stuff. And I'm thinking like I'll put this farm in a building that looks almost like a silo, but for now I might just make a big tower just to get it going, and then we'll make it pretty later on. So yeah, I'm gonna prep a bit for that, and then I'll come back. So actually, really quickly before I get into doing the farms, I just wanted to add this one extra piece here. This is an enrichment chamber from Mechanism, and it's like the most basic one right now. But the way it works is it just allows us to take that clay, which we make from the like wooden barrel with water and dust, and then turn it into clay balls. It's the only way you can get it back into clay balls. And then the clay balls are useful because we need them for making the dielectric paste from Powah. So without that, we can't make this stuff. And then like that is the essence of doing all these cables. So now what I've done is I've just set up a little pattern provider and an import bus here. I need to make the pattern still. But now that this is connected, this should be making clay balls for us now. And what I can do once I make this pattern here, give me 1 second, is set up our system to make a lot of the Powah cables that are better. So I'm just gonna make a clay ball recipe real quick here for the enrichment chamber. So we'll do that. We'll go back down here and we'll put it in the pattern provider. And now I'll show you guys. I'm pretty excited about this. Put this in here, so now it knows how we can make clay balls with this guy. If I come up here and I go to our ME terminal, I'm gonna set the system to make 1,000 cables of the best type, the spirited emerald cables. So now it's gonna craft a lot of things. Craft a lot of dielectric paste, a lot of dielectric rods, a lot of energy cables, a bunch of stuff here. And I just want this to start going in the background, so then we can replace all our cables with those cables. And then we can start upgrading the resource production stuff, and we'll have less bottlenecks over here. So I'm gonna set this to kick off, make 1,000 of these, start, and yeah, you can see it's just gonna make dielectric paste for a really, really long time. But yeah, I'm just gonna let this do this stuff while I'm working on the farm stuff. It also has to power up all these crystals over here, which takes a lot of energy and time. So just something that we can have going in the background while I'm working on the farm stuff. Yeah, there it goes. I mean, it's pretty quick, to be honest, with all these blazing ones now. But yeah, I'll be back with the farm stuff now. All right, so for the farms, what I'm thinking is a setup like this over here. basically this is just a 9x9 plot of farmland that has water in the middle, and then we use these harvester pylons, which are from the pylon something mod, just pylons. And the way they work is they'll automatically harvest just crops that grow in the 9x9 radius. They just need a hoe and then a inventory above them, and they'll start collecting stuff. So if I let this go, you'll see it'll harvest it all, and then it'll all end up in this chest here. So I'm thinking we'll do something like this, and I think we'll make it like decently tall, like a silo, like I was saying. So maybe about 7. I got 7 of these pylons so far. They're pretty cheap, but I'm thinking 7 for now to start, and then we'll see where we go from there. And yeah, we'll have to run like some subterranean cable down over here from the ME system to collect all the flax that we're getting. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm thinking right now. What I'm first going to do is just build out the structure of it and like the wiring to hook it all up to the system. And then after that, we'll kind of make it look nice and pretty. The biggest like hold up right now, which I'm grinding on a bunch behind the scene, is getting the dirt. I'm still just like using this like auto thing to get dirt from seeds. So I'll just like place this in here, and then we just wait for this to fill up and turn into dirt. So that's what's kind of holding me up right now, but we'll get there. I'll just do a lot of grinding off screen here, and then hopefully we can kind of finish this setup somewhat and maybe call the episode there. Alright guys, check this out. 1002 energy cables. That is that many energy cables right there. Bam, and they're all spirited. 200 kilo FE per tick. That is super exciting. This is gonna definitely like be a breakthrough for us on productivity and how much resources we can produce. I am also thinking that it's getting a little late for me where I am on this grind for the farm over there. So I think I'm gonna call the episode here. I'm pretty satisfied with what we were able to do. We basically completely automated the Powah mod stuff. It's all basically in here and set up downstairs on those empowering rods. So that's really cool. I think like that basically just is like it's just like a check mark for us on we now have power. Like power is good. We're set up. I think the next step, like I said, is the farm, so that we can work on expanding our ME network a lot faster. So we're gonna need like a lot of wool to make these covered cables and smart cables and dense cables and that sort of thing, so we can start getting a lot more resources here with the power and the upgrades, and we'll need more reactors to support those things. And then we'll get to a point where we kind of get to choose what we want to do and what we want to work on. I think once we do the farms and can set up the cables a bit and get to a spot that I like, I definitely want to make this place look a whole lot better. I'm happy with the frame that we're using right now, but I think like this whole thing is pretty flat and boring, and we could like give it some cool walls and domes and make it look very like cool and techno and stuff like that. And then I really want to pretty up that area of the island so we have kind of like a very nice green luscious area, and then like the workshop like I've been saying. So hopefully that'll come in a couple episodes time. But anyways, thanks for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed automating the power system here this episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye.